Hi, this lesson is about Spanish pronunciation part 1. Hola, esta lección es sobre la pronunciación en español, parte 1. Hi, welcome again to Spanish for London. I am Laura and today we will study the pronunciation. This is the first part. Then you will find the second lesson, in which lesson we will finish all the explanations about Spanish pronunciation. First, you have here the alphabet, el alfabeto. I will say the alphabet for you, so you will hear the names of the letters. The letters in Spanish are always feminine, so we say la A, la B, la C, la Ch, la D, la E, la F, la G, la H, la I, la J, la K, la L, la L o doble L, is the same, la M, la N, la ñ, la O, la P, la Q, la R, la S, la T, la U, la V, la W o doble V, is the same, la X, la Y, la Z. So practice your alphabet. Of course, you can do it easily finding a song on the YouTube. Now, let's see the proper pronunciation. I will teach you first the vowels. The vowels son in Spanish las vocales. Vowels are easier in Spanish than in English. In English, we produce more than 10 different sounds combining vowels. But in Spanish, we do not do that. We have 5 vowels and 5 sounds. So remember, it's definitely easier than in English. You have to produce always, absolutely always, the same sound each time that you see a vowel. So, the names of the vowels, as I told you, are A, E, I, O, U. Remember, please, because it's a little tricky, this is I, this is not I, but E. So again, A, E, I, O, U. Now let's see the pronunciation. When you see A, you have to pronounce A, like in father. It's a very open sound, so you have to open your mouth widely. If you compare when we say in English Sarah, her name is Sarah, we don't say Sarah in Spanish, we say Sara. So open your mouth to produce this sound, like in father, A. Okay. Then E, you have to pronounce like in pen. Remember, always, absolutely always, to say elephant, we say elefante, elefante, okay? Then for I, you have to pronounce like in ski, yes? Idioma, language, yes? So, when you see I, you have to smile. Look, idioma, if you put the mouth in this position, when you are smiling, you're putting the mouth in the correct position to pronounce the Spanish I. Do you see? So smile, idioma. If you don't smile, you will say something different and you can be misunderstood. If you want to say difficult in Spanish, you have to say difícil. If you say difícil, we don't understand most of the time, okay? Then O. Like in corn, always, o. Especially at the end of words, when you are beginners in Spanish, you tend to say, for example, no, don't do that. In Spanish we say no, we don't say no. So o is o, like in corn, okay? And finally, u, always like in moon. So, for example, it's very frequent to hear música. When you want to say music in Spanish, you say música. No, música, música. U, like in moon. So again, vocales, vowels. A, E, I, O, U. That's all. 5 sounds, 5 vowels. Don't invent anything extra. And the other difference between Spanish and English is when we have a diphthong. A diphthong is nothing but 2 vowels in contact, 2 vowels in the same syllable. For example, in my name, Laura, or in Europa, Europe, or in 20, 20, we have A, U, E, U, E, I. These are diphthongs, 2 vowels in the same syllable. So when we have this in English, we produce a different sound, a new sound. We say Laura, we say Europe, we say, well, 20 is a different word. But in Spanish, you have to stick to the rule. So as I said before, you have 5 vowels and you have 5 sounds. So you have to produce exactly the same sounds. A, like in father, U, like in moon. So my name is not Laura in Spanish, but Laura. Europe is not Europe, it's E, like in pen, U, like in moon, Europa. Y 20 is 20, E as in pen, I as in ski, smiling, 20. Do you see? Another important feature, if you compare the 2 languages, the pronunciation of the 2 languages is about short and long vowels. Do you know that in English we have long and short vowels? So for example, if I will write 2 words here to compare, ship or sheep. This is a short sound, ship. This is a long sound, sheep. Well, this is a feature which exists in many languages, but not in Spanish. We don't have long and short vowels or sounds. So every single sound has the same duration. So if you compare, for example, these 2 words, which are very similar, culture and cultura, in English, we tend to say this very quickly because it's a short sound. So we say culture, culture. But in Spanish, you cannot say cultura, cultura. No, 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 no. This is not correct. You have to say cultura. You can do it quickly, cultura. But every part, every syllable has exactly the same duration. Compare, for example, history, history. We say the GO part very quickly because it's a short sound. In Spanish, you cannot do that. You have to say historia, historia, okay? No, istria. Don't do that. It's absolutely incorrect and we don't understand. Okay, this was about the vowels. Let's see now the consonants. Okay, let's see the consonants that are different, of course, not the consonants that are exactly the same. Starting with F, la F. It sounds the same, famous, famoso, same sound, but remember, in words with PH in English, we write an F in Spanish. Por ejemplo, pharmacy with PH, farmacia with an F, con una F. Or philosophy with PH, filosofía with F, con F. Or physics with PH, física, con F. Okay? That's all. Now, la H, the H. Okay, this is absolutely easy. We have this letter, the H, not for the same reasons that we have an H in English. It's something completely different. In Spanish, we have an H for historical reasons. We need this letter in order to see the origin of some words. But H is absolutely always and totally silent. So please don't produce any sound. When you see an H in a word, you have to imagine that there is nothing there. So if you compare these 2 words, which are exactly the same, alcohol in English and alcohol in Spanish, we say alcohol. Okay, in Spanish, say alcohol. Please remember this. When you see a word with an H, any word and with an H in any position, try to think that there is nothing there. Alcohol, but nothing, please. Don't produce any sound, okay? Alcohol. Okay, now double L, la double L or ege. In English, when we have a double L, for example, in the surname Lloyds, we say Lloyds, like an L, so it sounds exactly the same if I have one or two L, but in Spanish it's different, and it can be the difference between two different words, so that's why it's really important to respect the pronunciation. So polo, for example, is a sport. You play polo with a horse and with a ball. This is polo, the name of the sport, which is polo. Okay, it's the same. But chicken is not polo, it's pollo, because we have double L. So remember, polo, but pollo. Do you see? If you mispronounce and if you say polo here, you are saying the name of a sport, not chicken. So remember to pronounce correctly the double L. Then, ñ. You don't have ñ in English, but it's really easy to pronounce if you consider some French or Italian words with gn. I wrote here two Italian words which are very familiar, probably for you, lasagna and gnocchi. Do you eat lasagna and gnocchi? Okay, so remember this. You have gn in Italian, but when you have this, you produce the same sound in Spanish, with the ñ. So we write lasagna with ñ and gnocchis with ñ. Exactly the same sound. Easy. Then, la letra T. Okay, this sounds different in English. When you say, I drink tea, you say tea. But in Spanish, we say tomo té. We don't say tomo té. We say tomo té. So remember, bite your tongue and say ta, te, ti, to, tu. This is the correct sound. For example, in tomato, we don't say tomate. We say tomate. If you bite your tongue, you will have or produce the correct sound. Okay, now la letra D. Again, bite your tongue. Say da, de, di, do, du. You know why? Because it's very frequent when you want to say, for example, every day in Spanish is todos los días. But most of the time, 99% of the British students say todos los días, which is absolutely normal due to the English pronunciation. But toros in Spanish means bulls, the animals, son los toros. If you say toros los días, we understand bulls, and you are trying to say every day. So bite your tongue and say todos los días. Da, de, di, do, du for de. Okay, now la X. When you want to say next, in Spanish we say próximo. But listen to me, I don't say próximo, I say próximo. So you have to produce this sound. When you want to say X in Spanish, you have to say próximo, not próximo, because the sound is different in English. In English, we say, for example, exit with the vibration here, but we don't vibrate this sound, we say próximo, okay? Then, la V y la V. In many languages, for example, English, or French, or Portuguese, or German, in many languages, we have two different sounds, but not in Spanish. They sound exactly the same. You have to put your lips together. Ba, be, bi, bo, bu, for both. So if you want to say, I'm going to drink, you say, voy a beber. I'm going to drink water. Voy a beber agua. I'm going to drink a lemonade. Voy a beber una limonada. So, voy, two lips together, a beber, two lips together. That's all. La R. Okay, this is a very important sound. All of them are important. This is very important because in English, most of the time, we don't produce the R, or we produce it but very, very slightly. It's a very subtle sound. When we say, for example, I go to the park, we produce something like a very, very distant sound, but in Spanish, this is a very clear sound. Voy al parque, voy al parque. Don't say voy al parque, es voy al parque. You have to pronounce the R. And then remember, we have the double R. So it's very important because if I say, for example, pero, this is but. But if I say perro, this is dog. So we have many words that are different only because one of them has an R and the other one has double R. So I don't have a cat, but I have a dog will be no tengo un gato, I don't have a cat, but I have a dog, pero tengo un perro. Do you see pero, but I have a dog, tengo un perro, pero tengo un perro. Be careful. Okay, now la Z, Z. Again, it's the same with X, which is X, and Z, which is Z. In English, these letters vibrate. So we say zoo, I'm going to the zoo. Or I go to the zoo, in my example. I go to the zoo. If you put your fingers here, you will feel the vibration in your throat. I go to the zoo. Don't do that in Spanish. It's voy al zoológico, or in the abbreviated form, voy al zoo, but not voy al zoo. Do you listen the difference? It's not voy al zoo, es voy al zoo. Okay? And the last one, Y. Y means literally Greek I. Okay? Porque la I es la I. Y esta es la E. Be careful. A, E, I, O, U. La I. Y este es Greek I, Y. What happens with this letter? This is a special letter. Not difficult, but special, because we have vowels, vocales, and consonants, consonantes. This is the only letter in our language that could be both vowel and consonant. It's a vowel when you have it alone, E, which is and, or at the end of a word. For example, rey, which is king, or ley, which is law, or Uruguay, which is a name of a Latin American country. But when you have the same letter between two vowels, it's a consonant. And in this case, we say reyes, which is kings. So king and kings will be rey y reyes. Okay? Okay, that's the end of this part 1 about pronunciation. So please practice, read aloud with this, pause this video with all this information, read something and try to check if you are pronouncing correctly. And then please go to lesson about pronunciation part 2, where I will explain only 3 or 4 letters that are not here, but you have to study them alone and will be the end. Okay, that's the end of the lesson. See you next time. Este es el final de la clase. Nos vemos la próxima.